Crafting with metal is so much fun. Hey Bestie, this is Lisa. Welcome or welcome back. I have this beautiful flower-shaped piece of galvanized metal from the Dollar Tree and a greeting card that has a quote by Walt Whitman and a beautiful bird on it. Not sure what kind of bird it is, but I really like it. So I'm just going to kind of cut around the words and the bird shape, and eventually I'll get it down to something that will fit on the flower. Now we're going to try to blend it in, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. So the first thing, I'm going to take the edge of a scissor blade and I'm just going to scratch it around the edges to rough up that like strong line there and make it blur just a little bit. So that's a technique you can do to also distress if you want to. So that's the first step. We're going to take this all-purpose spray adhesive and we're just going to put it on the back of that greeting card piece, and we're going to attach it to the metal right where it fits on there without going off of the edges. And then I'll just smooth that over with my hands and make sure, and use my brayer as well to make sure it's on there really well. Next thing, I'm going to take some white paint and a dabber brush, the kind you use for stenciling, and I'm just going to very lightly dab on there, kind of like a dry brushing effect where I wipe some of it off. And I'll just put it everywhere, and then I can, like with my fingers, kind of wipe off the part that's on the words. I'm going to do the same thing with like a gray color. This is Elephant by Waverly, in case you're interested in the same one. And I'm just going to go all around, including on the card a bit, because I'm trying to blur those lines. I mean, I can't get them 100%, but I can get it to where it's not as noticeable. Do you see that? And now I'm just going to put some adhesive around the edges, and I'm going to take some Epsom salts, and if you have any other kind of fake snow, and I'm just going to go ahead and drop that all around there because I want to have some snow on this. I want it to look like it was hanging outside and the snow kind of hit it. And then I'll keep patting that down, wiping off where the words are so you can still see them, and also the bird. I want to make sure that it's kind of blended, but you can still see the main part. But do you notice how that line of where the paper from the card is not as noticeable anymore? I mean, you can really see it if you hold it up to the light, but from a distance, you probably won't even really notice it. And that's kind of fun to do with this kind of thing. And there I am, just scratching off some of the snow that got on the words. I want to make sure that you can still read them. Standing underneath the lights. I think this is so pretty. It gives me kind of like a cold vibe. It makes me feel like I'm outside and it's cold. But I was going for like a winter feel, and so that's why I did that. I've got this little clip from the Dollar Tree. It's like a snowflake, I think, snowflake flower kind of thing with the silver, and I'm just going to clip it to the top right-hand corner, and I thought that just really finished off this piece. Of course, this is inspiration. You can do it any way that you want, but I just think it turned out beautiful. It's almost like icy. Is that the right word for this? Let me know what you think. This little snowman shaped metal galvanized piece from the Dollar Tree. I thought it was really cute. And then I've got this white kind of frosty flower also from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take some white paint. I'm going to dab it around kind of the right side. I want it to look like there was wind and the snow was just sort of hitting the side of it. Now I'm going to make this a very, very simple piece of decor. No face, nothing. We know it's a snowman. We can tell by the shape. So I'm just going to go for something a little more subtle here. So like I said, I'm just kind of dabbing around that right side to make it feel more like snow hit the one side. And I'm using a stencil brush to do that so that you get that kind of dab look. I'm going to go ahead and dry it off with my heat tool. Now I'm going to take some all-purpose adhesive spray and put it where that snow is, and I'm going to drop Epsom salts all over it. You can use any kind of faux snow that you want. I just like the way Epsom salts looks because they're not all exactly the same shape. And I'm just going to get that on there right where the snow was, and then pat it down, and then I'll tap off any excess. That just adds that little glistening snow look to this, but then you've got the white paint underneath it to give it the right color. Now I forgot to film this one part, but I'm going to add that beautiful flower and some greenery to the top. And it's not really greenery, it's more like winter pics. I also added some pine cones, which I think were really cute. I think this turned out so pretty. If you notice, there's some little silver berries on there. Whatever you want. I wanted to go for that icy, cool, wintry look here. And I think this accomplished that. And I think it's kind of fun not to have the face on the snowman once in a while. Let me know what you think about that. Now this home sign did not come from the Dollar Tree, but I wanted to include it because it's metal and I think it's really cool. I got it for $2.97 at Goodwill. Anyway, I thought it was really pretty. I'm going to paint the word home in the white. I'm going to tape off the bottom part first and then paint the word home. And then I'm going to take my elephant chalk paint by Waverly and I'm going to paint that base with that. I wanted that kind of wintry feel with the white and then the gray. I think that's a nice combination. I mean, if you go white and black, feels a little bit more farmhouse, which I also like, but I was going for a little bit softer look, so that's why I chose the gray. And I'll just go around, get all the little nooks and crannies. And yes, I do end up having to do a little bit of touch up off camera because it's impossible to get these things perfect. So I do go back and kind of fix that up a little bit, but it's actually not too bad, especially if you use a very small art brush to get into those little places. It takes longer, but I feel like it's worth the effort to make it look nice.
Standing underneath the lights,
So there it is. I think it looks really good. And I like the texture on the word home. It's kind of rough. So I'm going to take that pretty little snowflake flower and I'm just going to hot glue it in the middle of the word home. Now you could switch that out if you wanted to make this a 4-season sign, but I'm going to actually add these glittery winter pics to it. I'm going to make like a little swag right in the front. I thought that would be super pretty. And just going to cut off little pieces, whichever ones I think. I like to pull them apart. That way I'm not stuck with these big clumps and I can position them exactly the way I want. I just find that works so much better. Plus they go a lot further. So I know it's only $1.25, but I can get several, projects out of that.
Tired snowflakes are coming down.
So it's going to cut off those little knobby ends and then hot glue them one on either side in the front and then add those little ones towards the center. And then I'm going to grab a little pine cone and kind of trim off the edges to make it a little bit, less tall. That way I can stick it straight out of the center. I love adding little pine cones to things, especially like winter projects, even fall projects. I just feel like that's when we see the most of the pine cones out in nature. I hope you're enjoying this video so far, and if you are, go ahead and hit the like button and share it with friends or family that you think would also enjoy it. That helps my channel so much, and you know how much I appreciate that. Also, if you're just visiting and you're not subscribed, or you're just here all the time and you're not subscribed, consider subscribing because I'd love to have you here more long term. Thanks so much. So there it is. I think it turned out really beautiful, very wintry. And like I said, you don't have to put those pics in the front. That way you could swap out what's on the letter O for all seasons. So let me know what you think. I've got this metal candlestick from the Dollar Tree, and then I've got this cute little snow globe that is waterproof if you wanted to use actual water or oil in it. And then I've got a little snowman hat. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of these little white pom-poms, and I'm just going to put them inside of the snow globe. I want this to look like the snowman has melted. So I'm going to find some buttons. Those were from Dollar Tree. I'm going to get 3 for his, the front of him, and then 2 that match for his eyes. And we're just going to put them in there as well. Then I'm going to take a little craft stick and I'm just going to take my miter shears and I'm just going to cut out like from the curved end, like a triangle shape, but leave the curved end. I'm going to take an orange paint marker. I'm going to color it and that becomes the little nose. And I thought that was super cute. And then I'm going to put that inside as well.
Standing underneath the lights.
I'm going to seal that back up. I'm not going to use liquid in this one. I didn't think it was necessary, but obviously you most definitely could if you want. I just thought it would get soggy in there. So there is my little melted snowman. And then I'm going to glue that to the top. Now, at first I tried to just do hot glue. Now, of course, that's a silly thing, right? Why did I do that? And definitely it popped off. And so there I go with my first attempt. Sometimes I just like to go for the easy route. Does anyone else do that?
Look into each other's eyes. Tired snowflakes are
I'm going to hot glue the hat on, and then you see me attaching that. And now I've got this gorgeous ribbon. I actually got this at Costco, of all places. It is stunning. And I'm just going to glue it halfway. I'm going to bend it halfway across and glue it together because it was a little too wide for his scarf. But I thought it was just the most gorgeous colored ribbon. So once I get that completely glued all the way across, now I've got a nice size scarf. I'm just going to hot glue it to him, crisscross it in the front. And this is where I knock his little globe off. I guess I was pressing too hard, you know, trying to make that secure, and it popped right off.
Collapse into water when they hit the ground. I hear the sound of empty streets.
So now I'm going to put some little cut up Jenga blocks inside there and try to bring the height of the center up to the edges, because then I have more surface to actually glue the snowman onto. I think that was the problem. It was just going to touch around the circle. So now I'm going to use E6000 and hot glue, and it's going to stay on there really well. In fact, if you try to take it off, it'll probably break off the wood. Anyway, but that's the idea. We want it on there nice and secure.
So all that's left is you and me.
So now I'm just going to position it as best I can in the center, and he is all done. You could also embellish his hat if you want. I wanted to keep it kind of simple and make that scarf more of a starring role, but I think it's adorable. Let me know what you think of this one.
Ready for more inspiration? Here's another video I think you'll really like. If you click on it, I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye!